Hello, welcome back to some more early morning barking, talking about BPD and MPD by somebody that has both ADHD too, but I haven't found a way to incorporate that into the snappy intro. Welcome back. It's time to talk about ADHD frustration versus BPD rage. Two things that are quite explosive and loud, for two things. That's two things. And come from entirely different places and are motivated by entirely different things. So let's compare and contrast. I'm just going to dive right into it. Let's talk about ADHD frustration. Frustration is the right word. It's frustration. It's not really, it's maybe short-term rage, tiny little rages, right? When I get to the BPD stuff, you'll understand what I'm talking about. But the ADHD rage is tiny wee. It's like a little bit of frustration, but it's very short and explosive. Have you seen the video of the little girl and she's trying to put the straw in the cup, and she's trying ever so delicately to put the straw in the cup, but she can't get the straw in the cup, and she loses shit and smashes the whole thing away? Have you seen? That's ADHD frustration right there. It's very, I can't do this, that's not working, oh my god, boom. Short fuses. Large explosion, but not nuclear. Right? Not world ending necessarily. These things can be contained. Of course, there'll be some damage to the immediate surrounding areas, but all in all, not the worst thing. I bet now I said that, YouTube are just going to block this video somehow. I'm not really talking about... Anyway. You can... The way of handling ADHD frustration... It's difficult, right? It's difficult. There's this having to pull yourself back in the moment so much. It comes out of nowhere. It's surprising for you. It's surprising for us too. We didn't know it was going to happen, but it did. And then, right? The time between fuse being lit and explosion, very short. You've not got much time to cut it off, right? This is one that's coming down to 1 or 2 seconds on the clock. MacGyver really needs to get his skates on to defuse this one, right? Hopefully mentioning MacGyver will even things up a bit. Original MacGyver, of course, Richard Dean Anderson, he's the best one. I haven't seen any of that newfangled rubbish. So you have this chance to get it back, but it comes from frustration, from little bits of... that's the noise. It's the noise of ADHD frustration. Also a cat hissing for some reason. That's also the noise of ADHD frustration. I don't know where that comes from, but that's what it feels like. Therefore, BPD rage. Now we're talking some rage, right? Now we're talking explosions that people make scary TikTok videos about, right? Now we're talking, something out of Star Wars, right? That's BPD rage. Now this is not quick. This is not necessarily as unexpected. It is not necessarily as surprising, but it is so much worse than ADHD frustration. It is so much bigger. It is so much more emotional. And the last time I fell into that state, I was down for about 3 to 5 days. I don't have clear memories of it all. It was a weird thing, right? At this point, I can't even remember what sent me off. It must have been about 5 years ago, I want to say. I'd actually just started talking to the person who is now my girlfriend. And we'd been talking, I think, a couple of weeks. And then the way she puts it is, no, it wasn't even a couple of weeks, I don't think. But the way she's described it to me, correct me if I'm wrong, Kat, is that I just sort of disappeared for a few days. And she thought I didn't like her and all that stuff because I disappeared for a few days. And Came back and I was like, whoa, that was a bit, yeah. So let me explain some things. And that's, I have vague memories of bits of it, of phone calls I made, of people I shouted at, various things, but not a coherent memory of those 5 days. My memory's not great at best, right? Especially remembering straightforward timeline events of things. But those 3 or 5 days. See, the fact that I can't tell you, I think it was 3. I've been told 5. I don't know. I guess we have to go with what the other people said, right? I guess. Anyway. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so 3 to 5 days. And this was a rage that, regardless of what kicked it off, it was about so many things. For me, it represented the last of all of it that there was to come out. I'd finally shouted everything I had to shout. I'd screamed everything I had to scream. Every bit of pain that I'd suffered, that I'd been through, that trauma, finally ended up coming out of me over those days. It must have been bloody horrific for everybody. You know, luckily, I think I was fairly well isolated to me alone here in my house. I think that's... Anyway. But this is something that's not just coming out of I can't get the straw in the cup. This is the culmination of decades, in my case, of self-hatred, self-doubt, self-loathing, thinking you're unlovable, thinking you're unworthy of everything, thinking you are just garbage, thinking everything is over and done with, and just hating life, existence, resenting further life and existence, and all of that, the whole combination of everything that is BPD. It's impossible for me to sum it up in a video. It's taken 5 years of videos to discuss it all so far. And all of that was in me, and it needed to finally just come out. There's a fundamental difference between the rage that we see from ADHD and the rage that we see from BPD. Now, look, I'm not saying that 100% of rage from ADHD is just generated out from frustration. There are lots of other feelings that we have, and you may be going through some stuff. But in general, much more short-lived, much more ragey, much more there's something in my way. You know? Trying to sum it up like that. That's an easier one to sum up, because I think we've kind of all have felt that one at some point. That, because we've all had days where we're pushed to our limit, where everything has gone wrong in the morning, the kids have been messing about and they haven't gotten ready for school and left on time. So now you're late, and now you've got to get into town to get to work, but the bus was late, and so you're even more late, and now you're walking down the street as fast as you can. But there's someone who's just being really slow right now. I get, right? We've felt that. What differentiates that in the ADHD is the volatility. Right? We don't need that morning to push us to our limit. We can be at our limit in the blink of an eye. That's, yeah, there's our limit. Well, great. You know, that's the volatility. But I think you can relate to that feeling. You just have to imagine feeling it a lot with very difficult control. Because, like I say, short fuse. BPD rage, long fuse. This thing was lit a long time ago. This is building up before this explosion. It's underlying problems that are making things build up. And it's possible, with help, to sort of, I don't know, my metaphor is breaking down, because, you know, what is it? Do we cut the fuse? I'm not saying it, you know, I still had a rage. I feel like I needed to have that rage. But no one's going to tell you to do that. no sensible therapist. Well, what you need to do is lose your shit for 3 to 5 days, kind of black out, go into a fugue state, just be really violent, horrible, frightening to everyone and everything around you. That would really help. No one's going to tell you that, right? But finally getting all those things out and realizing that just shouting them wasn't going to fix things. Help me, move me along. It got me to a place where I could not have to rage anymore. Because those things, although they happened, they don't affect me like they used to anymore. And the rage went away. ADHD rage, oh, I can live in that. I can swim around in that, right? That's fine. That's fine. You get that when you're setting up 5 lights in front of you to do a video. I've got 5 lights in front of me, by the way, right now. There are 5 lights. I hope you can see me. I hope it's all right. For those amongst you who are wondering, I have dramatically lowered the ISO of my camera in an attempt to reduce noise on the image. There you go. And the shutter speed also has gone down. So, but you need more lights then. And I need a better lens. I'm just rambling now. This is the end of the video, obviously. I think we've discussed the difference between the two things enough. And I'd be interested to know what you have to say. Go and write some comments, please. I appreciate that. I love your comments. Your comments are usually very good. Some of them are horrible. Those people can off, quite frankly. Not you. You're the nice one. Exactly. Go over to my Patreon page, please. Early Morning Barking. Patreon.com/Early Morning Barking. You'll find things there. I post stuff there. I want to do some live things on there. But there's not enough of you on there to do live things on there. I'm going to try and do more live things on the main channel as well. I kind of miss doing lives and that sort of thing. But we need to get some momentum going. Look out for updates on this channel and on socials, on Instagram, on Threads. I still hate saying that. I'm on Blue Sky, but I don't use it. What's everyone on now? Right? I don't know. Go and follow me on Threads. That's probably the best one. There's links. You'll find it. You clever people. Love you for that. Do. So I'm going to start turning off my lights in a minute. And that's going to take me sort of half an hour or so. And then, yeah. Anyway, you take care. Well done for making it this far. You are brave people, and I love you. Take care. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.